However, we talked about this last week on News and Views, Tim. We're in Albuquerque, New Mexico last week. The Latino Mormons had a meeting. They grouped together there, and they are not in favor of Mitt Romney. They are not, because of his immigration idea of self-deportation and him saying that if the DREAM Act were passed, I would veto it. So the Latino Mormons, 7% of all Mormons are Latino. So in Arizona, we're talking a lot of Mormons, period. Mostly Republicans, so of course they're going to be voting in the primary. But yeah, that could go either way. Well, we're going to see. In fact, the next time, listeners, that we talk about this, we will know the result of this one. Okay, recapping more over the weekend. The Oscar nomination, the Oscar Academy Award. I mean, this is like the biggest thing of the year for movies in America, and actually worldwide. I mean, in fact, there were people that won this from all kinds of countries. Last night we had the Oscar Awards. A Mexican actor, Damian Bichir, was up for an award, and he was the first Mexican actor to be nominated since Anthony Quinn for Zorba the Greek, like literally 40 years ago. His movie, A Better Life, was nominated. And what's interesting about this whole thing is, if you are nominated, I think it's 5 per category. Isn't it 4 or 5?
Yeah, there's 5. I only in the major categories there's 5.
Okay,
I'm not sure about every category.
So for the major categories we're looking at, just to make the top 5 is already like you already won an award, because that's a lot of honor and recognition. And there's so many movies out there in every category that you can name that it's very difficult just to make the top 5 in any category. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, Damian Bichir has already won, but he did not win in his category. The movie is A Better Life. It's about his life story. Very interesting life story. He is an undocumented person from Mexico who moved to New York, and his first job was in a restaurant, working in a restaurant as a dishwasher and then a cook and so on, like so many people do. Immigrants do, from all kinds of countries.
I work with a few that do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not, and this is how he started, and then he moved to Los Angeles because he wanted to learn how to do a movie. And that's exactly what he did. And he's been going back and forth between Mexico and United States doing movies, and all of a sudden he's doing one about himself as an undocumented immigrant in the United States, and it's up for an Academy Award. To me, I think he already proved his point. I mean, to me, that in A Better Life, it's called A Better Life. People immigrate here. They've done it for centuries, Tim. I mean, I'll bet your grandparents or great-grandparents did this. Come here, mine did, for a better life.
My mother did.
Your mother did. I mean, our families, anyone we could talk to could say this, and that's been the American dream, the American way, really, and so on. It's not just like people go through Ellis Island, you know, on a ship from Europe like they used to when Christopher Columbus so-called discovered America and so on after that. I mean, we're talking people come from Canada from all over. Well, this is really something that he made it that far. He did not win, but as far as I'm concerned, and many people are concerned, he really did win just by being nominated to be in the top 5. What's interesting, too, about the Oscars last night is they were international. The top film was in black and white, probably, Tim, before you were ever born. Remember black and white silent films?
Yeah, well, it was a silent film more than black and white, yeah. Well, I know about them. They stopped making them, for the most part, in the late 20s.
Well, actually, I wasn't even born then. Now that I think about it, we're together on this. Finally, Tim and I are in the same age cohort on something here that we talk about. Yeah, I wasn't even born then. But isn't it cool that a silent film from in black and white from the old days, and I think produced by a French, actually. Yeah, it was actually produced by France. So we're talking an international Oscar presentation last night. Well, we're not going to go through them all, but I was actually pleased about a couple. Well, here, I do need to point this out because Tim and I were just talking about age. Christopher Plummer, who was in The Sound of Music. The Sound of Music.
Yeah.
He won supporting actor for a movie called Beginners. 82 years old, oldest ever to win an Oscar. Sound of Music. You remember this?
Yeah, I know The Sound of Music.
Okay. Oh, isn't that something? So that's another good one. And I could point out more. Another one I was kind of, well, Meryl Streep, I mean, played, you know political science and history. All right, she played, this is called The Iron Lady. Meryl Streep won the Best Actress Award. And this was for her role as
Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher. Now, what was her title? She wasn't the Queen of England.
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister.
First female Prime Minister.
First female Prime Minister of England. Okay. Well, that was a good one. And the movie called The Help, which was an African-American type movie on many, many causes and issues. Octavia Spencer won supporting actress for The Help. I actually thought The Help would get more wins than they did. But the very fact that you get nominated to begin with is something else. So The Help did get one for that one. Now, I'm interested in music, and the original song of the year was actually from the Muppets. Now, I don't know, Tim, are the Muppets still, is that like Sesame Street? I mean, the Muppets?
Well, it's kind of separate now, but I mean, they were both Jim Henson's creations.
Jim Henson's creations,
but
right.
I think Sesame Street's owned by somebody now, and the Muppets are owned by somebody else. That's why you don't see Kermit on Sesame Street anymore.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you what, we're thank goodness you're filling in all of the blanks here that we have. But yeah, Man or Muppet, Brett McKenzie for the Muppets was the original song. So congratulations to all the Oscar winners. As far as I'm concerned, congratulations to all of the people that were nominated. The documentary, I'd love to get into that. Undefeated, the documentary feature, raises social issues, but we don't have a lot of time to continue on with that because we need to move on here. Okay, so over the weekend, Tim, anything else from the weekend that stands out?
Oh, not really. I mean, I was paying attention to the NBA All-Star game.
Well, there was the NBA All-Star game. I believe the West won. It was a very high-scoring game.
Yeah.
And it was like a yawner, but you know what? The thing is, they were competing against the Academy Awards. So, in fact, I cannot believe this. They said 1 billion people were watching that.
The Academy Awards?
No, I'm sorry, internationally, all over the world, which tops the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, maybe.
It does. Well, that's what they were saying.
It's kind of hard to measure it, like, internationally. It's hard to measure it here.
It is hard, but one of the reports was that it even topped the Super Bowl. Okay, there is one other thing from the weekend, Tim, that I want to go over, and that was Representative Win Moses. Well, we need to back things up to Friday. We're talking about the Girl Scouts again. But really, we're not talking about the Girl Scouts. We're talking about Representative Bob Morris from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And, okay. We're okay time-wise, so we're just going to keep going. All right, Representative Bob Morris, and Tim and I have discussed this before. We've talked about it here on News and Views several times, really. Refused to sign a resolution to honor the 100-year anniversary of the Girl Scouts because he objected to some things that he found on the internet by doing some internet research, that they help with Planned Parenthood. He doesn't like Planned Parenthood because it goes against his religious principles, because Planned Parenthood does support birth control, and some of their funding may go for abortions or whatever and other things. and more so that they promote homosexual lifestyles. I mean, these are the allegations the man was making. Well, they created like a flurry of controversy. On Friday, on Thursday actually, he issued an apology, but it was not a retraction. The very next day on WOWO, which is Fort Wayne's radio talk show, conservative talk show, on the Pat Miller show, he was interviewed, and there was no retraction. In fact, he was even firmer in his beliefs that he's right. And he said, I challenge anyone to go on the internet and look up Girl Scouts and see what they stand for and so on. Well, when you do that, you find all these good things. But he's saying, well, you got to go to other websites. Okay, got to go to other websites. And he raised a couple, and I did that. Tim. Mm-hmm. He said, I challenge listeners on WOWO, if you disagree with me, do your own research. I did that. I seriously was surprised that some of what he was saying is on there. But these websites are not of the official Girl Scout Association of America websites. These are so biased, and they're looking for any kind of thing to point out a problem about. So he did not retract, and he stood on his grounds. I want to make sure before we run out of time that I point this out. So then now I'm rolling the clock ahead to Sunday. In the Fort Wayne Journal-Gazette, there were private opinions about Bob Morris and his comments, all in favor of supporting the Girl Scouts and thinking this is not right for the Girl Scouts to have such an attack, a verbal attack on them, which really has nothing to do with the local Girl Scouts. It has to do with their national organization anyway. So local Girl Scouts, I mean, they don't even know anything about this.
It wouldn't even have anything to do with the national. It would be some other local Girl Scouts.
Yeah, really.
If anything.
Like, yeah, if anything. Well, Wynn Moses, who's a representative, now Bob Morris, who came out with this, he called it a private letter to his colleagues in Indianapolis, in the legislature. He said he did not expect it to get all this publicity. Well, that right there tells me something is pretty naive, because in Indiana we have what's called the Sunshine Law since 1977. Any document that is submitted among...
Get you out of there.